everyone, and welcome into Dreams and Seams vlog. I am about to head to the ballpark. The Drillers open their series with San Antonio tonight, but I'm really excited because Dennis Higgins, the voice of the Drillers, who does their radio cast and things, he's invited me to come on for the pregame show. So here's to fingers crossed that I don't say anything to embarrass Matt. I'm not really worried about embarrassing myself. Like, that's really hard to do. I don't get embarrassed very easily, but here's to hoping that I have a filter and that I say good things to make people want to visit Dreams and Seams. So I'm hoping that I can record it and get the whole conversation as we're talking, but I'm definitely I'm gonna record it with my recorder and definitely have the audio if nothing else. So let me know what you think.
All right, we'll give it a whirl. Ready to go?
Yep.
All right, this is Jessica Beaty. We come down in 3, 2, and 1. Well, a little bit interesting, different twist to the Dugout Show tonight as we welcome into the Dugout Show Jessica Beaty, who is the wife of Drillers first baseman, third baseman Matt Beaty for the Tulsa Drillers, and Jessica is the mastermind behind what I think is a really cool baseball blog that I was turned on to a couple months ago. It's called DreamsandSeams.com. And Jessica, welcome to the Dugout Show. Just begin by asking you, what was the motivation behind getting the blog started?
First of all, thank you so much for having me on, and thank you for the kind words about the blog. So, I was a journalism major in college. That's what I have my degree in. And so I had a blog when I was in college. And then whenever Matt got drafted, we were from a small town. So honestly, we had a lot of people that thought he was going straight to the Dodgers. So a lot behind the blog was to just really inform people. There are a lot of stereotypes. There are a lot of misinformation out there about baseball in general, but especially about minor league baseball. So I just wanted to kind of give our little piece of our story and kind of how we are working through this process and things that go on. So that was basically it, just wanting to share, and also obviously writing and doing videos I have a passion for because that was my major. So that's really I guess the brains behind the whole idea of starting the blog.
I think it's a great idea, and you had a recent blog that caught my interest. The Drillers were just gone for 12 days on a 10-day road trip. That was a long one. And it was entitled Surviving Road Trips at Home, and the challenges that a lot of people may not think about for wives and girlfriends.
Right, and so, you know, when I sat down and thought about it, I've been to most of the road trips, at least part of them. You know, 12 days, that was the longest Matt and I have gone this whole entire season, and so I was sitting there thankfully I have a part-time job, so that, you know, took up a lot of my day, but then I didn't have baseball games to go to. There was just a lot of things that I wasn't going to have for 12 days, and so I seriously just wrote what I was going to do what I did during those 12 days. It was kind of nice, honestly, to just kind of take time for myself, you know, kind of recharge. I had been to so many games and been traveling so much, so it was kind of nice, but at the same time I was ready for them to be back and ready to start going to baseball again. So
you've had some interesting videos on the blog. One was you guys were driving down the road on a road trip, and you were singing the music on the radio, and it didn't look like Matt was too into it.
No, so if you know Matt, if you haven't been around him that much, you would think he is shy, but I always tell people, once you're around him enough, you won't get him to shut up. So it was kind of like pulling teeth trying to get him to do the carpool karaoke. We're actually coming to Tulsa from spring training when we did the video on that road trip. So I just played some songs that he liked. He got to pick some of the songs, and so he finally got into it. But yeah, I had to really kind of bribe him and give him his little solo to kind of shine. So
we're spending some time with Jessica Beaty, who is the mastermind of the baseball blog DreamsandSeams.com, and we'll give the address before we sign off here. But the challenges of being married to a baseball player. A lot of women choose not to be with the player during the season. They stay home, but you've elected to be here with Matt. I know you guys just got married recently.
Right, so we got married last November, and so last season I was in South Texas working at newspapers. Matt was playing, and over the whole season we only saw each other 8 days, and that we were planning a wedding. We were, you know, obviously preparing ourselves to take that big step, which is marriage, and we kind of were talking towards the end of the season, and we just had this like really epiphany, or really a come to Jesus, like God being like, y'all cannot do this when you're married. And so that was it. Like, we had always had conversations. I was always going to do, you know, my career path. He was going to do baseball. And then there was just a change, and I was like, I don't want to do that. You know, I want to be with him. I want to be supporting him. And he even told me, he's like, you know, it would be so much easier if you and our dog Ranger, if y'all were with me during this whole thing. And we have had so much fun. I couldn't imagine doing anything else. I love baseball. I love watching him, being able to watch him chase this every single day. I have so much fun. So yeah, that's really why we just made the decision. And I want to be a part of it. I don't want to look back and be like, oh, well, I don't know what it was like seeing you play and go to the ball field every single day and be there for 10 hours. You know, I wanted to be there for him and be a part of this experience.
I know it is really challenging to either be a girlfriend or married to a baseball player. And there was an interesting quote you had in the blog. You said, if you aren't a pretty independent person, you probably shouldn't marry a baseball player.
Well, absolutely. And I also wrote a blog about a day in the life of a minor leaguer, and that takes you through what a typical day looks like for them. They get here at 1 o'clock. And that's a late time, you know, even noon sometimes. And we don't leave here until 11 o'clock at night sometimes. So that's a lot of time for wives and girlfriends to fill that space. What are we going to do with our time while they're at the field? And so you really do have to be independent and be confident in yourself to be able to go and do things, especially in the new cities, which I also talked about in the blog. But like I said, I wouldn't change it for the world. I love this journey that we're on. But yeah, you really do have to be independent and strong-willed and kind of what you want for yourself, and take that time for you. And, you know, it is Matt's dream, but it's my dream too. But I also have dreams that I'm working towards as well. So
I want to ask you about that because I know that you have a background in journalism and you have an interest in sports reporting, writing and also speaking. What are your long-term plans?
Sure. So that's actually why I decided to leave the newspapers. I was working at newspapers right out of school in South Texas, and I really decided to leave there because I wasn't doing just sports. I was going to city council meetings. I was going to school boards, and not that those things aren't important. Those just are my passions, and honestly, that's not what I know about. So for me, what I would really like to do, I think, would be a sideline reporter, be on radio. I know. I'm coming for your job. No, I'm just kidding. I just love to talk. I love to tell people stories. And so, especially in sports, I feel like this journey with Matt also gives me a different look at a player's mind. Things that go on at the park. I have a totally different look into those things that a typical fan or someone that's not married or family into it. I get a different look, and I think that's to my advantage in what I want to do in sports. So I honestly don't know. I love writing. I love doing the newspaper, but I also feel like I'm a good talker. You can see I'm probably ranting, and you're probably like, you need to be quiet. But so I feel like talking and sharing people's stories and just getting a different look, that's how I like to approach sports. Yeah, I can talk to you about strategies, statistics, I can do all of those things, but I also feel like I can give the viewer, a reader, a little something different than what they would normally get. So,
well, listen, there's so much more I could ask you, but the constraints of time in a pregame show, we'll definitely have you back on. Maybe when I'm on the air during a game, we can have you on to talk a little bit longer and delve into this a little bit more. But finally, want to mention, since 1977, the Tulsa Drillers franchise has never had a guy lead the league in hitting, the Texas League. Your husband, Matt, is currently in third, just a few points off of doing that. That'd be something else, wouldn't it, if he could do that?
That would be so awesome. I thought you might mention that, and I didn't really want to bring it up. I was hoping you weren't going to bring it up because I don't want to jinx it. I don't want to talk about it, but no, I am so proud of the season that Matt has had, the kind of player he is. And, you know, going back to this is my first season traveling, you know, if all of those things, he's on pace to have the best season he's had so far in the minor leagues. And I'm going to take all the credit. You know, I'm going to say it's because I and our dog Ranger, because we were with him, I'm going to take all the credit. But no, yeah, so I think the thing about Matt is he is very competitive driven. Like, some guys might look at that and be like, oh man, I need to get hits. You know, they might take a step back and it might put a lot of pressure on them. Honestly, Matt is the opposite. Like, I think that feeds him. He's like, oh, I'm that close. Like, I'm that close to doing it. No one has ever done it in the history before. That would, yeah, it would just be awesome. And obviously we're cheering for him to do that. But even if he doesn't, he's had a phenomenal season. And like I said, it's been a lot of fun.
Finally, give us the address to the blog.
Okay, so it's www.dreams, the letter N, seams.com. I know it's kind of confusing, but you can also find me on Facebook at Dreams and Seams, and that's where I will post the links to vlogs and blogs that I do, so that might be easier. But yeah, Dreams and just the letter N, seams.com.
What I really like is the video tours you've done of the ballparks on the road. We'll have you back on again, and thank you so much for the visit.
Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to coming back on. Thank you, Dennis.
Jessica Beaty, Matt Beaty's wife. We're back with more of the Dugout Show.